This is Cecile Hetzel-Dunn for Railside Report. I'm here at the Scottsdale 55th anniversary show. The weather is beautiful and we're having a wonderful morning, and I have stopped by to visit with a long and dear friend, Bob Battaglia, one of the top trainers in the industry for the Arabian horse. Wanted to say good morning to you, Bob, and we're so happy that we're able to be here in this lovely setting in your tack room and your presentation of your horses that are here for the show. And I wonder if you could say a few words about the horses that are going to be entered in the show today.
Well, first of all, thank you for stopping by. And we have a variety of English horses, country horses, English pleasure horses, and mostly this year the amateurs and the young riders are the ones that are showing.
So am I understanding you're not showing this year? It is your amateurs, or are you showing?
I'm showing one driving horse that's been national champion before, and I like the people to see him. But mostly the junior riders and the amateurs. The open horses that I had are now turned down to the amateur horses.
That is wonderful, and it seems to me, in looking around at the classes that I've seen since I've been here, that our junior rider classes and our amateur classes and our amateur owner to ride classes are really, really filled with a lot of interesting, beautiful horses, and horses that are appropriate for them to ride. And I think that's a tribute to you trainers.
Well, thank you. And I think that's the biggest observation that you could make, that the horses are actually trained and are suitable for the riders. I am happy to say that the quality of the horses here is pretty incredible, but the numbers are also uplifting. The junior classes, 17 and under, and different age groups have been filled very well with up to 20 to 25 horses in each class, and that's really great.
That is great.
And the amateur classes for riders 18 and over up to 65 or 70 are also filled this year pretty well. 22 riders in each class. And so that tells me that we're still alive and well, and that everybody wants to show in competition. When you go to these horse shows and there's only one or two horses in it, it's a little disappointing. But when you come to something like this and you have the quality that we have and the numbers, it's really exciting.
It is exciting, and the audience participation at this horse show and the people who have come as spectators to this horse show is amazing. In the middle of the week, the stands are filled, and so I'm looking forward to this weekend when there'll be standing room only around that arena. I'm quite sure this morning we were over in the halter ring, and we even noticed that the standing room only, you could hardly walk around the halter ring. It was so wonderful, wonderful feeling. This morning I visited several barns from what I consider people who have been in this industry for many, many years, and especially people who have come to this Scottsdale show from many, many years ago. They've supported it, they've been here, they've grown with it. I think that's the word we want to use. They've grown with it. So let's see, when was your first Scottsdale show?
Well, my first Scottsdale show was in 1972, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
I came as a spectator. It was at the McCormick Ranch, which is now a housing development.
Of course.
And Mrs. McCormick owned something like 3,000 acres, and it was a cattle ranch and a horse ranch. And the one thing that I remembered, because I was from Chicago, I got off the plane and I looked around because none of this was here. It was all desert. And I thought, oh my God, who'd want to live out in this with just cactus and dust? And then I went to the ranch, and it was extremely beautiful. And the show was so exciting that I came back every year. And this is, I don't know how long that is, but it's 30 years.
30 years of being here.
Plus.
And has there been great growth?
Oh, tremendous. The one great thing about Scottsdale is it's a destination. It's the time of the year. Everybody loves to come to Scottsdale, and the quality of the horses and animals exhibited have just grown and grown and grown.
To absolute excellence,
Absolutely.
I might add.
But this show committee, over the years, of course, has changed. They're not the same people. Does an outstanding job of publicly advertising giving some of the money to the charities, and it's grown and grown and grown. And we have people coming from all over the world now to observe the show, to look at the quality, to buy horses, import them to their countries, as you know.
Oh, yes.
And we go there and import horses to our country. So it's been an ongoing thing, and it's probably the largest Arabian horse show in the world now.
I'm sure, and it's also very, very international. We actually have one of our announcers over at the halter ring that speaks Portuguese, and every now and then he puts in a few sentences because we have a lot of Brazilians here.
We have people from England, from Brazil, Saudi Arabia, Europe. You name the country, and a lot of them are here now. But they do come to see the horses and the quality of the horses, and buy and sell.
And we also have a lot of Canadians here. They're very much a part of our organization.
Well, the Canadians have always been a very big part, but they also come here to, believe it or not, buy land and speculate, and the horses have brought a lot of them down.
I think a lot of the Canadians that I know that are here came because of the Arabian horse. There is no question about that. And they're doing a really good job in the show ring. I've seen quite a few wins with the Canadians at this horse show.
They're very competitive, and again, it's an incredible horse show, and you're going to see everything here, something for everybody, besides the exhibit hall, which has a great shopping area.
And people love to shop.
Oh, well, there's no doubt about that.
The aisles are crowded. And I have to tell you something. I think one of the wonderful things about this Scottsdale show, and you've worked with the show committee and offered suggestions to them to try to better it for the professionals as far as footing and far as arenas and far as stabling. I realize that because I've heard that through the years. And I think it takes professionals like you to participate in that type of decision making for the betterment of the show, but mostly for the betterment of the horse.
Well, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've been on a lot of committees, and I have to tell you that it's gratifying to see something happen when you do make suggestions and they don't just throw it on the floor.
Well, now I'm going to go back really far.
Okay.
I want you to tell these people that are listening this morning about a very large win you had as a saddle seat equitation rider when you were a very young man.
Oh, well, there were a couple of those, but the biggest one was at the Chicago International Horse Show, where I was the boys' champion, and I was the only boy competing that entire year, and I beat all the girls, which had never happened before. And beat them pretty substantially, which I'm proud to say. And that was probably the most gratifying thing as a child. That was fun.
I know, and I've watched you through the years, and I have to put a little plug in here for saddle seat equitation. The trainers that I see that are riding that come from the background of saddle seat equitation or hunt seat equitation or stock seat, reining seat equitation, there's no question about it. Their presentation on a horse as a rider is always refreshing to a judge to look at. And since I'm a real proponent of saddle seat, I think it's absolutely wonderful that we have trainers that continue professionally.
That, as you know, presentation is everything, no matter whether it's presenting food in a restaurant, and especially in the ring. Your presentation is all of it. One thing that I will never forget, Marcia Shepard, at one of her saddle seat clinics, said, sitting there looking pretty is one thing, but always remember, you as a rider are influencing the horse's performance, and it's the complete picture, and that's something I've never forgot.
Well,
and it is a complete picture.
It is a complete picture.